Hi, I'm John Decker, PGA golf instructor and author of the book, Golf is My Life, Glorifying God Through the Game. When I look at good players, the one thing they all have in common is a good grip. And when I look at high handicappers, usually one of the first things that I have to do with them is work on their grip. How you hold the club is going to dictate how you swing the club. Now, I like to use the example of a pen. If you look at a child when they first start writing, they tend to hold the crayon or the pencil or the pen like this. And they usually write in block letters. And the reason they're doing this is they want to control it. They're trying to control it. And they hold it in the palm of their hand. They have no dexterity, no movement in their wrist. As you get more developed, you hold it in the fingers. Notice how I'm holding this in the fingers. When I hold the pen in my fingers, I'm able to write with cursive. I'm able to have dexterity in my wrist. I'm not squeezing the pen real tight. I'm holding it in the fingers securely. It's not going to move, and my wrists are nice and relaxed. That's the same way you want to hold a golf club. You want to hold it securely in the fingers, but you want your wrist to be able to relax. Now, a good test for this is to simply hold the club with your grip and just hold it in front of you and just move your body from side to side. And when you do that, see how I'm moving? The club is able to move. If I'm gripping the club too tightly and I move side to side, there's not nearly as much movement. So I want to be able to have some movement with my wrist. Just like a hitter in baseball, you'll see them when they hold the bat, you can see the end of the bat kind of moving. Very rarely do you see hitters just stand there perfectly still. So that's one test. To do this properly, you have to be holding the club properly and knowing what parts of the hand to put on the club and what parts not to put on. Just like the child holding the pen like this, you do not want to put the club in the palm of your hands. I don't want to see people grip the club like this. See, I can't move my wrist when I do that. So the first thing I try to do is I look at the left hand. If you're a right-handed player, I look at your left hand and getting this pad on top of the club. And then my fingers go underneath. Now here's a real simple test. If I do this properly, I've got the pad on top. The palm of my hand is not on the club right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all my fingers off except for my middle finger right there, and I should be able to hold the club. And I can move my wrist up and down. Look at that. The face is not moving, nothing's moving. I've got that club right in the proper position. I can move it up and down like that. That's very important. If I hold the club in the palm of my hand, if I take my fingers away, I lose it. So imagine if I had to hold the club like that, and somebody said, what would my grip tension have to do? I would have to increase. Now I can feel my forearms tighten up. And if my forearms tighten up, guess what? I can't create any snap. I can't create any dynamic motion. So now I'm going to start moving my body to make up for what's going on in my grip. Your grip is so critical. That's the first thing. Now, a lot of your teachers, once you get that pad on top and you get the fingers underneath, and again, I can hold it with one finger, but I'm not going to swing a club with one finger. I'm going to put the other three fingers are going to be it. So I have four fingers underneath. My thumb goes on top. This is the V that you always hear about. The V, my fingers are together. I always want my fingers together. They're married on both sides. My thumb and my index finger are together. I never want separation. So I've got the fingers together, and this V is pointing to my right shoulder. Now my right hand comes on. Now, how you connect your right hand to your left hand depends on the size of your hands, really. For juniors, a lot of ladies, I'll go with the 10-finger grip, the next grip would be the interlocking grip. This is the grip that Tiger Woods and Jack Nicklaus use. And then there's an overlapping grip. For men who have really long fingers, we'll go with the overlapping grip. How you connect the club, or how you connect your hands together on the club, is going to really be dictated between you and your PGA golf professional. That's not something in a video that I can tell you, but those are the three that you're going to have. The 10-finger, there's no connection, the interlocking, and then the overlapping. And again, speak with your PGA golf professional, your teacher, whoever it is that you're working with. I would have that conversation with them, because a lot of it's going to depend on your ability and your your body build and your hand size. And then once we get the club, once I get the fingers connected, I've got my right hand fingers are underneath the club. So notice how many fingers are underneath the club. The pad is on top, so my pad is right here. That pad right there is on top. My fingers are underneath. On my left hand, fingers are underneath. I connect, and then I get the padding of my right hand on top of that thumb. That goes on top. So a good golf grip looks just like that. Notice my V's, both V's, right here and right here, they're parallel to each other and they're pointing to this right shoulder. Okay? So if someone tells you you have too weak of a grip, that means your hand is over here too much. That is going to promote an open club face, no power. Or I see some people, they'll get their left hand right and they'll get their right hand way on top. Like, now my right hand is too weak. Okay? If someone tells you you have too strong of a grip, you're going to have your hand, like I see some people like this, that's a really strong grip, or somebody will have their right hand underneath too much, that's too strong of a grip. My V's are pointing way over here in that situation. That's going to promote a shut club face, which can promote either, you can either hook it, or you're going to hit the ball low, or you're going to block it. Usually people who have shut club faces hang on a lot in their golf swing. So if you're coming through and you see a lot of separation with your arms right there, a lot of times you have too strong of a grip, or one of your hands might be too strong. Again, these are things that you can go over with your PGA Pro when you're working in your lessons. It's important, though, that you practice your grip. You should practice your grip every day. It's always good to put your hands on a club. If you look at good players when they walk in a pro shop, they'll grab a club and they'll put their hands on there and they kind of do that right there. They're kind of feeling the club. They're feeling the shaft, they're feeling the grip, they're feeling the head weight. It all starts with having a good grip. If you have a bad grip, you can't feel anything. It's like shooting a basketball from the palm of your hand. You have no touch. You want to get the fingertips on underneath the basketball, just like you want to get the fingers underneath the club here and get those pads on top. And when I look down, one of the things that I always look for is I should be able to see 2.5 knuckles on my glove hand. So when I look down, I can see that knuckle, and right in between there. If I see 3 or 4 or 5 knuckles, that's too much. Well, I wouldn't see 5 knuckles, but I'd see 4 knuckles. If I don't see any knuckles, that's not good either. That's a weak grip. Get this left hand right. This is the most important part, where the glove hand is. If you get that right, then the rest of it kind of fits on there. Practice your grip, and your club face will be in a lot better position, and it's really going to help you to gain power, but more importantly, you're going to hit it a lot straighter.